Welcome to Movies Recapped. Prepare to be entranced by the extraordinary film Midsommar. Follow Dani as she embarks on a journey to a remote Swedish village with her boyfriend and friends. Amidst unsettling rituals and chilling events, Dani's grief intertwines with the village's dark secrets. Brace yourself for a mesmerizing tale of love, loss, and the unraveling of one's sanity. Experience the intensity and intrigue of Midsommar as it takes you on a captivating and haunting exploration of human nature. Watch Midsommar now and immerse yourself in a world that will leave you spellbound. The movie commences with a captivating and unsettling mural depicting a peculiar ceremony. As the scene transitions, eerie visuals of snow-covered woodlands emerge, accompanied by haunting ancient folk songs that send chills down your spine. Meet Dani Ardor, a college student played by the talented Florence Pugh. Filled with concern, Dani tries desperately to reach her parents, only to be greeted by their voicemail. Her worries deepen as she receives an enigmatic message from her bipolar sister, Terry. Seeking solace, Dani calls her boyfriend, Christian Hughes, Jack Reynor, who seems dismissive of her concerns, attributing Terry's actions to another episode and insinuating that Dani worsens the situation. In the midst of their conversation, Dani receives an unexpected call from an unidentified number. Christian's friends, Josh, William Jackson Harper, Mark, Poulter, and Pelle, Vilhelm Blomgren, gather with him, discussing their plans for a trip to Harga, Sweden. They suggest Christian should end his relationship with Dani, as he has been contemplating it for a while. Pelle, with a nudge of encouragement, mentions the opportunity to meet other women during their journey. Overwhelmed by grief, Dani makes another call to Christian, but her sorrow consumes her, and she breaks down in uncontrollable sobs. In a heart-wrenching twist, authorities enter Dani's parents' home to discover that Terry has caused a tragic carbon monoxide leak, resulting in the deaths of their parents and herself. Christian rushes to comfort Dani, and her devastated state is evident. Months pass, and Dani struggles to cope with her profound sorrow. She spends time with Christian and his friends, and amidst their company, she learns about their upcoming trip to the Midsummer Festival in Harga, Sweden. Pelle, who grew up there, shares intriguing details about the celebration, including the selection of a May Queen. Pelle tries to console Dani about her loss, revealing that his parents have also passed away. However, their conversation triggers a torrent of emotions, and Dani seeks solace in tears, seeking refuge in the bathroom. Filled with curiosity and a mix of emotions, Dani decides to accompany Christian and his friends on their journey to Harga. Along the way, they encounter Pelle's brother, Ingemar, as well as an English couple named Simon and Connie. The group indulges in magic mushrooms, and Dani is offered a unique tea by Ingemar, promising a more pleasant experience. At first, she enjoys the altered state, until Pelle's remark about the group feeling like family unsettles her deeply. Overwhelmed, she takes a solitary walk and experiences a terrifying bad trip. Paranoia grips her as a group of euphoric individuals laugh, causing her to seek refuge in a shed. There, she is horrified by what appears to be the presence of her deceased sister, Terry. Fleeing into the woods, the morphing trees engulf her, and she succumbs to unconsciousness. In her brief reprieve from reality, she dreams of her sister and their deceased parents. Awakening beside Christian after an intense 6-hour slumber, Dani reunites with their friends and proceeds toward the village to meet the Harga community. Josh's curiosity is piqued by the cultural aspects of the festival, but his inquiries about a mysterious golden teepee receive no direct response. Playfully, a girl named Maja kicks Christian, displaying her interest in him within the circle of friends. Pelle surprises Dani with a birthday gift, a drawing of herself. She mentions that Christian forgot her birthday, and though he eventually offers her a slice of cake as an apology, their relationship's duration is questioned. Christian estimates just over 3 years, but Dani corrects him, stating they have been together for 4 years. Pelle then leads their group to their sleeping quarters. The next day, the group engages in a grand feast with the Harga community. 2 elderly villagers, Ylva and the laborer, are honored guests and partake in a mesmerizing breathing exercise. The entire community accompanies them to the edge of a cliff, where, to the newcomer's horror, Ylva jumps off, meeting a gruesome fate. The laborer follows suit, breaking his leg in the process. As he cries out in pain, the villagers echo his moans. Shocked and appalled, Simon and Connie react, while Dani seeks refuge in her room. An elder villager woman named Siv clarifies that this act is a natural part of their ritual, as the elders believed they had reached the end of their life cycle. Pelle attempts to comfort Dani, believing her distress stems primarily from her recent tragedy. However, Dani finds his proximity unsettling, aware that Christian could enter the room at any moment. Pelle questions the significance of Christian in Dani's life, considering his behavior around her. Dani experiences a nightmarish vision in which Christian and his friends abandon her, driving away in the dead of night. Helplessly, she watches while haunted by visions of her deceased family and the lifeless bodies of the elders. Following the harrowing event, Simon and Connie make the decision to leave. However, when Connie is ready to depart, she learns that Simon has already left with another villager to catch a train home. Feeling abandoned, Connie sets off on her own. Meanwhile, Christian reveals his desire to focus his thesis on the Harga, much to Josh's displeasure. Josh believes that Christian tends to latch onto his interests rather than pursuing his own. Christian proposes asking the elders for permission to collaborate on the project. Later, Josh discovers that the village's rituals are inspired by paintings created by Reuben, a deformed boy born from incest, who is regarded as a seer. When Josh requests permission to photograph Reuben's drawings, he is denied. Christian and Josh are granted permission to collaborate on their thesis, under the condition that they keep the identities and whereabouts of the Harga community concealed. Christian inquires about the village's mating customs and discovers that while incest isn't necessarily frowned upon, outsiders are often brought in to mate with the villagers. A celebration ensues, during which Mark becomes the target of Ulf's menacing gaze. Subsequently, a female villager leads Mark away, and he vanishes without a trace. In a thrilling turn of events, Josh sneaks into the room where Reuben's book of paintings is kept, only to be interrupted by someone he believes to be Mark. Before he can react, he is struck on the head and forcibly taken away by the imposter, who is, in fact, a villager wearing Mark's face. The following morning, Dani, Christian, and Pelle discover that Josh and Mark have gone missing, along with Reuben's book, raising suspicion. Meanwhile, Dani finds herself participating in a captivating dancing competition with the village women, enabled by a drug that allows her to converse in Swedish. Crowned as the May Queen, Christian succumbs to hallucinations induced by a drink, leading him to engage in a sexual encounter with Maja while the elder women mimic her cries. Caught in the act, Dani's emotions shatter, driving her to tears. Seeking solace, she retreats, and the other women join her, shedding tears in solidarity. Christian rushes out in search of Dani, only to stumble upon the buried leg of Josh and Simon's mutilated corpse. Shortly thereafter, a villager renders Christian unconscious by blowing powder in his face. As the ritual reaches its climax, the elders present Dani with a drugged Christian and a villager named Torbjorn, instructing her to choose one for sacrifice. Following custom, 9 individuals must be sacrificed, including the 2 elders, 4 outsiders, 2 living volunteers, and 1 chosen by Dani. Despite the trials she has endured, Dani ultimately selects Christian as the sacrificial offering. In the village, the men envelop Christian's helpless form within the gutted body of a fully grown bear. Alongside Ingemar, they set ablaze the bodies of Simon, Connie, Josh, and Mark in the golden teepee. Christian writhes in agony, gasping for breath as he faces his horrifying fate. Ulf's terrified screams pierce the air, while Ingemar watches in stunned silence. The villagers mimic the screams of the burning victims, and as Dani watches the macabre spectacle unfold before her eyes, a twisted smile begins to etch its way onto her face.